What's up, guys? Welcome back to another great episode of Your Field Fantasy Shots. I'm Dan Theory, your bartender tonight at Theory BFFs. It's Thursday, September 28th, start of week 4. Tonight's game, Packers and Bears. I'm just going to bring you some news today. I'm going to see if I can figure out some content for our Anything Can Happen Thursday segment. But just given our weird scheduling this week, and just when we recorded some of these podcasts, I really haven't had much time to put something down or together for that segment. But we do have enough news to talk about, so that should hopefully carry you guys over. So we'll start out and make this quick. DeAndre Hopkins continues to be limited. This is per Jim Wyatt via Twitter. It looks like the Texans are just lightening his workload during practices because he gets a lot of work during the games. He could see some of his targets come down with Will Fuller coming back and playing, which I'll get to a little later on. Next is Adrian Peterson did not practice today. This is per Mike Triplett via Twitter. This was just no more than a rest day for him. He tweaked his knee, and the Saints are just giving him rest. Being that they want to make sure he's good and ready to go Sunday morning in London. Next is Martavis Bryant misses another practice per illness. If this was anything else, this would be news, but because he's sick, it doesn't really mean anything. 9 times out of 9, players who are sick and miss a couple practices will tend to play Sunday. I guess this becomes more of a story if he doesn't play tomorrow or if he doesn't practice tomorrow. But don't worry, if you're firing up your Bryants, if you're planning on starting them, I wouldn't worry too much about this. Next is Sam Bradford has been officially ruled out of week 4. This is per Chad Graff via Twitter. Mike Zimmer has come out and said that that Bradford's getting healthier and he's feeling better. He's just not quite there yet. It was said last week that this knee injury wasn't just a 1 or 2 week thing. That it was going to go longer and last longer. So this is just a wait and see. With the way that Case Keenum played last week at home against Tampa Bay, there's no need to rush him back. You also get Teddy back, I believe, after week 6 or week 7, sometime in there. So there's no need to rush Bradford back. This is a good enough team to make a playoff run, at least defensively, and with how well the offense has been playing all around, with the improved run game and the improved offensive line. Case Keenum is more than good enough and more than ready enough to lead this team week in and week out. The players on offense trust him. Zimmer and Pat Shurmur trust him. So it's just a wait and see for Bradford. I hope he comes back. I love watching him play. Mike Williams has not been ruled out for week 4. This is per Dan Woolke via Twitter. Williams is still limited in practice, but it's just great to see that he's ahead of schedule. I don't think he'll play this week. I think he'll be worked in next week. If he's available in your leagues, at least in a deeper stash, or if you have a bench stash, he's not a bad ad. I mean, he was a top 10 pick for a reason. We loved watching his tape. It's just that the Chargers have a lot of receivers that they throw out every week, and none of them have gotten hurt yet, which is, I guess, a good thing. But I don't think Williams is still a real big play for this year. Just more of a dynasty option to see what the teams will do next year, to see what the Chargers will do next offseason. Melvin Gordon was a full participant this week, a full participant in practice today. This is also per Dan Woolke via Twitter. It just looks like he's ready to play Sunday minus a setback. So if you have your Gordons, I wouldn't be afraid to throw him out there. Bill O'Brien confirms, as I said this a little bit earlier, that Will Fuller will play week 4. Will Fuller will jump into the starting role. He'll jump into probably the wide receiver 2 spot. I don't feel great about him this week. I still think Bruce Ellington has done somewhat enough, and he has trust from Watson that I think he'll still be relevant. But this offense as a whole has looked better. At least the passing game has looked better with the emergence of Deshaun Watson at least giving them some life. Um, though it's still the Hopkins show, it still will be the Hopkins show. Watson doesn't have the strongest arm to utilize Fuller's deep threat ability. Plus, Will Fuller can't catch a football either. So it should just a wait and see. He is worth a pickup, I think, in really deep leagues, deep drafts, 16 plus, deep roster. But we have to wait and see more. This offense still is unknown whether or not they can produce more than one receiver each week that's not named Hopkins. So next, moving on to some Titans news. Laney Walker is back at practice. This is per Jim Wyatt via Twitter. He didn't play yesterday. This is because of a hamstring injury, and it looks like it was just more for rest. Walker has been more of the consistent producing tight end. I predicted that he would take a step back with the emergence of Corey Davis and Eric Decker and Taywan Taylor, but because of Davis's injury, he hasn't been able to play much, and Walker still has the trust of Mariota. Even with the emergence of Jonnu Smith, Walker is still an every week starter until proven otherwise. Just given the mess of this tight end shit wreck that we have right now. Just a couple more pieces of news, and I'll get out of here. Kelvin Benjamin was a full participant today in practice. He is going to play. He's on track to play, minus a setback. He should be good and ready to go. It's unknown what its floor is right now, which is how bad this offense looks. Cam is inconsistent. He may not even play. Who knows? At least with Kelvin there, he's got high upside in this matchup, just given how high-powered New England's offense is. New England may want to make this a shootout, at least on their end, which bodes well for Benjamin and having a high ceiling this week. Last piece of news, Kenny Golladay was a DNP today in practice. This is per Tim 20man via Twitter. I'm mispronouncing how it's spelled, so I apologize if for some reason you're listening to us and that was wrong. Let us know. He was limited yesterday, Kenny Golladay, that is. It's never a good thing when a player is downgraded in the middle of the week, especially on a Thursday. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but he doesn't have a great matchup this week against the Vikings on the road, and he really hasn't done anything since his blow-up week 1. It's still the Golden Tate ... Ebron ... Marvin Jones, and now T.J. Jones with Golladay out. Tate's going to be your safe play here. Ebron does have some upside to him. The Vikings have allowed, I believe, 2 touchdowns to tight ends. Or no, I've allowed 4 touchdowns to tight ends in the first 3 weeks. I believe Fleener got 1 week 1, and then James, I think, had 2. Or didn't have 2. He didn't have any against the Vikings week 2. I'm sorry, I apologize. The Vikings have given up a couple touchdowns to tight ends this year. With the inconsistencies of tight ends of the season so far, Ebron isn't the worst option or worst play this week. He is a tight end 1, I believe, for all 3 of us. That's all the news I got for right now. If there's any more that comes out when I get back, I will let you guys know. And if I think of a segment or something I'd piece together for the anything can happen Thursday, I'll try to come up with something a little more concrete going forward. It's just Thursdays are just a little odd right now. Again, I'm Dan Theory at Theory BFF, or Two Seans as we like to now call me. You can follow my co-host Nick Sparts at Nick Sparts with the Z, not an S, or at Chris or Chris Hopper at Hop BFF with 2 P's, or also known as Ludacris with a K. We are recording tonight, so we'll hopefully get that dropped either tomorrow at some point or later tonight, depending on what the game is, but with the Bears playing, who probably not till tomorrow. Again, please like, subscribe, leave comments on not just our YouTube channel, but our Twitter page, which is at BeerfieldFF. Our Instagram page, BeerfieldFF. I will be more active on it probably next year when I get more comfortable with my time management when it comes to this, and so I do apologize to the people out there who have been waiting for me to do more on our Instagram page. We're still on Facebook as well, Beerfield Fantasy Football. We're on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Music or whatever for all your podcast downloading needs. Obviously, just a regular website. The actual website should be live soon when Nick gets the domain all set up for the guy who's putting it together for us. So you guys will be able to have a more polished look to our rankings and things like that. But that's all I got for today. If I don't get anything on tonight, you'll at least see Hopper tomorrow for your DFS plays. I know he hasn't done very well the last couple weeks, but the NFL has been really fucking weird the last couple weeks. So hopefully he gets back on track. Otherwise, you'll get Nick on Saturday to do your ins and outs to let people know who's playing, who's not playing, what he thinks. Otherwise, we will see you on Sunday. I will see you next Tuesday. All right, thanks, guys. See ya.